Society didn't hide these lessons to protect you. It hid them to protect itself. Because the moment you understand how power actually works, how people actually behave, how the game is actually played, you stop being useful to a system that depends on you staying confused. These aren't things they forgot to teach you. These are things they deliberately left out. And Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago, when he wrote the lessons that got him exiled, imprisoned, and nearly executed for simply telling the truth about human nature. What I'm about to show you are the 7 dark life lessons that most people spend decades learning the hard way, if they learn them at all. The ones that society calls cynical, dangerous, or selfish. But when you understand them, really understand them, you'll realize they're not dark at all. They're just reality. And reality doesn't care what you were told. Think about how much of your life you've spent doing the right thing and watching it get you nowhere. You were honest when dishonesty would have been easier. You were patient when aggression would have moved faster. You trusted people who hadn't earned it yet. You played fair in rooms where nobody else was. And you told yourself that eventually it would pay off, that the world would reward you for doing things the right way. But here's the thing nobody tells you. The world doesn't run on fairness. It runs on awareness. The people who seem to move effortlessly through life, who get what they want, who are rarely taken advantage of, who seem protected from the games everyone else is playing, they're not luckier than you. They're not more talented. They just understand something about human behavior that was never taught to them in school, in church, or at the dinner table. They learned the lessons society doesn't want in circulation, and later in this video, I'm going to show you the exact thing that changes once you understand all 7, and why most people are one lesson away from it, but never get there. Niccolò Machiavelli was a diplomat, a political strategist, and one of the most honest observers of human nature who ever lived. He wasn't a villain. He wasn't teaching people how to be cruel. He was doing something far more dangerous. He was describing reality as it is, not as people wished it to be. He wrote, "The man who adapts his course of action to the nature of the times will succeed. And likewise that the man whose actions do not accord with the times will fail." That's not cynicism, that's diagnosis. And the reason his work was feared, the reason it was banned, burned, and condemned, is because it removed the comfortable lies that keep most people manageable. These 7 lessons are built from that same tradition. Machiavelli's dark psychology applied not to ruling kingdoms, but to navigating the world you're actually living in. They're uncomfortable, they're exact, and once you hear them, you cannot unhear them. Lesson 1. Kindness without power is just vulnerability. Society tells you that kindness is always a virtue. It's not. Kindness without the ability to enforce consequences is just an invitation to be used. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Most people get this wrong. They think he was saying be cruel. He wasn't. He was saying that love without respect is fragile, that generosity without discernment is a leak, that being kind to people who interpret it as weakness is not virtue, it's naivety dressed up as morality. The most generous people you know, the ones people walk all over, aren't more virtuous than the ones who hold their boundaries. They're just less aware of how human behavior actually works. Kindness lands differently when people know you have the option to be otherwise. So here's your command. Keep being kind. But stop being kind to people who haven't shown you they deserve it yet. Kindness is a reward, not a default setting. Lesson 2. Most people are not your allies. They're your audience. This one is the hardest to accept because it sounds like paranoia. It isn't. The people around you, colleagues, acquaintances, even some who call themselves friends, are not rooting for you the way you might think. They're watching. They're measuring. They're comparing your progress to their own comfort. Your wins remind them of their stagnation. Your failures make them feel better about staying. Robert Greene put it clearly in the 48 Laws of Power. Everyone around you is a player in the game, whether they admit it or not. Most people deny this because it's an uncomfortable truth about human nature. It's easier to assume goodwill than to observe behavior accurately. But here's what this lesson actually gives you. Once you stop expecting your audience to act like allies, you stop being hurt when they don't. You stop oversharing your plans. You stop celebrating publicly before you've finished building. You move quieter. You finish more. Your command: share your goals with people who have demonstrated loyalty through action, not through words and proximity. Lesson 3. The system rewards compliance, not excellence. This is the forbidden knowledge lesson, the one they really don't want. You were taught that if you work hard and follow the rules, success follows. But if you look closely at the people who get promoted, funded, chosen, and elevated, it's not always the most capable ones. It's the most legible ones. The ones whose behavior is predictable. The ones who don't make the system uncomfortable. Machiavelli observed that institutions, governments, corporations are not designed to identify excellence. They're designed to perpetuate themselves. Excellence is only rewarded when it serves the institution. Disruption is punished even when it's right. This doesn't mean stop working hard. It means understand the actual rules of the game you're in. Excellence without strategic visibility is invisible. Hard work without positioning is just effort that goes unrecognized. So your command: stop performing excellence for a system that isn't watching. Start positioning yourself where the right people can see the right things at the right moment. Before we go further, drop this in the comments. Society taught me to be good. Experience is teaching me to be strategic. Both can be true. I'll read every single one. Let's keep going. Remember what I said at the beginning about the exact thing that changes once you understand all 7? We're halfway there. The next lesson is where it starts to click. Lesson 4. Emotion is information, not instruction. Society treats your emotions like commands. You feel angry, you're supposed to act on it. You feel afraid, you're supposed to retreat. You feel hurt, you're supposed to confront. But the people who move through life with the most control have learned to treat every emotion as data, not direction. They feel deeply. Machiavelli understood that the leader who acts from emotion rather than analysis loses. Every time. Because emotion makes you predictable. And predictable means controllable. Think about every time you've reacted in anger and regretted it. Every time you've let fear stop you from moving. Every time you've let guilt push you into decisions you didn't actually want to make. In each of those moments, someone or something had access to your controls. They didn't need force. They just needed to press the right button. Your command: when an emotion spikes, pause. Not to suppress it, to ask what it's telling you. Then decide what to do with that information. That one pause is the difference between being moved and being controlled. Lesson 5. Loyalty is earned through power, not through need. Most people believe that the more you need someone, the more loyal they'll be to you. The more you depend on them, the more they'll stay. But human behavior consistently shows the opposite. Dependency breeds resentment. Need makes you a burden, not a bond. Machiavelli wrote that a prince who relies on the loyalty of those he can no longer reward will find that loyalty dissolves the moment the rewards stop. Not because people are evil, but because loyalty isn't a feeling, it's a calculation. It exists where there is mutual benefit, mutual respect, and mutual awareness that the relationship has value. The person who is needed out of desperation attracts users. The person who is valued out of strength attracts loyalty. One creates dependency. One creates alliance. Your command: stop building relationships from a position of need. Build from a position of value. Know what you bring to the table and let others see it clearly. Lesson 6. Your reputation is not what you do. It's what people say when you're not there. You can be the most capable, ethical, hard-working person in the room, and if your reputation is managed by people who resent you, none of it matters. This is the lesson most high performers learn too late. They invest everything in the work and nothing in the narrative. And then they're confused when less capable people get the credit, the opportunities, the trust. Machiavelli was obsessed with this. He understood that perception is reality in political life, and political life is just every human environment with slightly lower stakes. The prince who acts virtuously in private, but is perceived as weak in public, is treated as weak. The prince who cultivates the appearance of strength is granted the privileges of strength, even before he's demonstrated it. Your reputation is a living document, and if you're not the one writing it, someone else is. Your command: pay as much attention to how you're perceived as to what you actually do, not to perform a false version of yourself, but to make sure the true version of you is visible to the people who need to see it. Lesson 7. The world responds to what you project, not what you feel. And this is the one that connects everything. You can feel uncertain and project certainty. You can feel afraid and project calm. You can feel hurt and project composure. And the world, the people in it, the opportunities in it, the threats in it, will respond to the projection, not the feeling. This isn't about being fake. It's about understanding that you are always communicating. Your posture, your pace, your silence, your eye contact, your willingness to pause before you speak all of it sends signals that others respond to before you've said a single word. Machiavelli understood that the prince who controls how he is perceived controls the room before he enters it. Not through deception, through discipline, through the deliberate management of the only signal you fully control, yourself. Your command: before any high-stakes moment, a conversation, a negotiation, a room you're walking into, decide in advance who you're going to be in it. And then, be that person, not performing. Choosing. Here's what most people never realize about these lessons. They're not cynical. They're not dark in the way people mean when they call something dark. They're not teaching you to be cruel or calculating or cold. They're teaching you to see. Every single one of these lessons is a version of the same core truth: that the world has rules nobody announced, and the people who struggle most are the ones who never found out what they were. Not because they weren't capable, but because they were operating on assumptions that were never true assumptions that served the system, not the individual. And here's the part I told you I'd show you at the beginning, the thing that changes when you understand all 7. You stop being surprised, and when you stop being surprised, you stop being controlled by your reactions. You start moving with intention instead of just responding to whatever's happening around you. The confusion lifts, not because life gets easier, because you can see it clearly for the first time. That's not darkness. That's the most useful thing a person can acquire. You already knew some of this. You felt it before you could name it. You knew something was off when the rules you were given didn't match the world you were living in. You knew that the people who seemed to succeed weren't always the most virtuous. You knew that being good wasn't enough on its own. You just didn't have the framework to hold it. Now you do. Kindness backed by awareness, strategy without cruelty, perception managed with intention, emotions processed as data, loyalty built on value, not need. These aren't contradictions, they're the complete picture of a person who moves through the world with both integrity and intelligence. Machiavelli didn't write for tyrants. He wrote for people who were tired of being surprised. He wrote for the ones who wanted to see the game clearly enough to play it on their own terms. That's who you are now. Not because you heard 7 lessons, because you were already the kind of person who was willing to hear them. Drop this final affirmation in the comments right now. I don't play by rules I didn't choose. I see clearly. I move intentionally. I am not managed. I read every single one. If this shifted something in how you see the world, take 3 seconds. Like it. Share it with someone who needs to hear what society, and subscribe, because this community is built for people who are done being confused. And if this hit you, the next video goes even deeper into why most people never learn to use their awareness as a weapon, and what Machiavelli said about the ones who do. Stay sharp. Stay deliberate.